Hello, everybody, and welcome to Up and Moving, which is a physical activity program for the Upper Peninsula. My name is Isaac Wiedig. I'm a graduate student in the Kinesiology and Integrated Physiology Department at Michigan Tech. And briefly, our goal with Up and Moving is to keep adults physically active by giving you both live and recorded virtual workouts that you can do from home using very minimal equipment, and you can follow along with us from there. So for today's workout, it's our surprise Saturday edition. So the workout's always a surprise. Nobody knows what they're going to be doing when they show up, which is always a little bit of fun. We're going to do a mixture today of a little bit of aerobic stuff, some strength exercises, and some core. But the exercises that we do and the durations that we do them for are going to be determined by card draw. So we're leaving this workout up to fate a little bit today. So I'm going to be drawing cards. The different suits are going to correlate to different exercises. And then the numbers or the faces on the cards are going to determine our time that we're going to go for. And what we're going to do is our workout's going to last about 20 minutes or so. And we're just going to keep drawing cards off the deck and we'll see what we get. And we'll accumulate 20 minutes of physical activity there. So we're going to start off with a little warm up here. So about 5 or 10 minutes, lower intensity. We'll kind of build our heart rate up. And then we'll get into the card draws where we'll get to a little bit harder exercises. And then lastly, we'll finish up with a little cool down to wrap it up for the day. All right. So let's go ahead. We'll go into our warm up here. I'm going to start with some big knee hugs. So bringing my knee up to my chest, giving it a big squeeze. I'm coming to you today from the Exercise Physiology Lab at Michigan Tech. Good, we can start adding a little heel raise in there. So going up on that toe, flexing the calf. Good, let's go ahead and flip into a new movement. I'm going to grab onto my ankle. Raise the other hand up to the sky. Just keep alternating sides here. If you can't quite grab onto that ankle, it's okay to grab the back of your heel on your shoe, or you can just pick that leg up as much as you can. Keep alternating sides. Whew, my quads are a little bit sore from a workout I did earlier this week. I'm feeling this stretch this morning here. Good, couple more of these. Last one. Great, and we're gonna go into my personal favorite signature warm-up move, zombie kicks. So hands out in front, and you're gonna be kicking your toes up to your fingertips here. Trying to keep that knee fairly straight. We're looking for a light stretch in the back of the leg. We can think about trying to kick that foot up a little bit higher as we loosen up here. I guess my hamstrings are a little sore and tight today too. Good, couple more here. Great. All right, we're going to go into next a little reverse lunge. So you're going to step back, and then you're going to twist your torso towards your knee that is up. And we're just going to keep alternating here with which foot we're stepping back with and the side that we're rotating to. You can start to get a little deeper on those lunges. We'll get the legs a little bit more warmed up. We may get into some strength exercises today. So we want to make sure we've got all the joints, all the muscles real ready to roll here. Good, we'll go for a couple more. Last one. Great. Next one we're going to go to, we're going to get our feet a little bit wider apart here. And we're going to go into a lateral lunge. So we're going to keep one leg straight, and we're going to lean towards the other. We'll get a little stretch on the inside of the leg here. You can take those hands, you can throw them on your thighs. Or if you feel good just doing body weight, you can. But if you need to ease a little bit of the weight on your knee, you can just use those hands. I'm just going to keep flipping side to side here, get a little light stretch, and then shift the other way. Start to get a little bit lower, a little deeper as we loosen up here. Good, we'll go for 2 more. 1 more good stretch. Good, awesome. All right, let's work on those shoulders now. We'll get the upper body warmed up with us here. So I'm gonna go forward arm circles, and I'm gonna get a little side step in. We'll slowly increase the size of these circles until we get to really nice big arm circles. Try to use as much range of motion at our shoulder that we have here by making real big circles. Good, we can shake out those arms a little bit here. Gonna go right into arm swings. So now I'm gonna take those arms across the front of my body. Really open my chest up, pull my shoulder blades together at the back, and then reach for opposite sides of the room in the front. Good, let's go ahead, we'll shake that off here. Now I'm gonna take my arm circles and I'm gonna reverse those, go in the opposite direction that I started with. And we can get to big circles a little quicker here. Nice big circles. Good. Perfect. All right, we're going to go to a few more movements here that are going to work on getting our heart rate up a little bit more. So I'm going to go into speed skaters. So I'm kind of hopping from one leg to the other or just doing a nice step, whatever you prefer. But it's just like I'm gliding down an ice track here on my skates. And as you feel like you're warmed up, you can start to take a little bit bigger of a hop. Try to really move side to side laterally. We'll start to get those glutes warmed up. Good, we can increase that pace a little bit here for our last 10 seconds before we switch over. And we're down to 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, good time. Okay, we're gonna go to a light jog in place here. We'll try to get those feet off the floor if we can. Gotta wake those feet up. Get those arms pumping. I'm starting to breathe a little bit harder here. Exactly what we're shooting for. We'll take a little bit of a water break when we get to the end of the warm-up, and I'll explain exactly what our workout's going to look like here. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a fun one today. All right, let's increase the pace a little bit. Crank it up a couple miles an hour with our jog here. Trying to get those feet off the floor. Stay on the balls of your feet here. Good job. In our last 10 seconds, we're going to bump it up a little bit if you can. All right. We're going to go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 time. Good. All right. I think that was a good thorough warm up. My heart rate's up. I'm feeling ready to go. I'm a little loosened up. I'm going to grab a sip of water here. Just make sure you got a water with you. We'll be taking frequent breaks between our exercises as we're doing our card draws. So here's how today will work. So I've got a deck of cards. The hearts, if I draw a card that is a heart, it's going to be an aerobic exercise. So I will either pick, or maybe I'll do feedback from the group if anybody's got an exercise that they want to put forward that we do, but I'm going to pick some sort of aerobic exercise that's kind of focused on getting your heart rate up if it's hearts. If it is a diamonds, we're going to be doing a core exercise. So we'll do something that works on the core. If we pull a spades, we're going to do upper body strength exercise. So that could be a push-up, some sort of row, bicep curl. And then lastly, if it's a clubs, it'll be a lower body strength exercise. So squats, a deadlift, a lunge, something like that, where we're trying to go a little bit heavier and work on muscle strengthening. All right, so those are what the face cards are going to correspond to, the suits. And then the numbers are going to be, so if I draw for example, a 4, it would be 40 seconds that we're going to go for. So we multiply the number by 10, and that's our seconds. So if this was a diamonds of 4, it's going to be a core exercise that we're going to do for 40 seconds. All right. And then so on. Face cards are for a minute. And if we pull a ace, then that's 2 minutes. So we really don't want to pull an ace. That's probably the worst one we can get in here. All right. So that's kind of what it'll look like. So what's going to happen is I'll draw a card. We'll do the exercise, take a quick break while I draw the next card. And I'm just going to keep drawing cards as we go through, and we'll keep ourselves moving here for about 20 minutes or so. All right. Without further ado, also, I do not have jokers in the deck. So if you're wondering what happens when we get a joker, do we have to like run a mile and do 100 body weight push-ups or something crazy? Jokers aren't in the deck. So maybe you've dodged a bullet today. All right, first card. I'm going to share it with y'all. We got a 9 of diamonds. So that means we have 90 seconds of a core exercise. I'm going to start things off pretty easy here. Actually, you know what? Let's make this one a little bit more challenging. We'll go 90 seconds of what I like to call a plank jack. So what you're going to do here is you can either do this from a chair where we're in a plank position and then you're jumping your feet in and out, or you can step out, out, in. So either one of those, it can be like a jumping jack or out, out, in. And you can do this from the chair, or if you want to make it a little harder, you can actually do it from the floor, out, out, in. And we're going to go for 90 seconds here. So I'm going to start from the chair, and everybody get set. 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Out, out, in, out, out, in, or doing a little hop, feet in, feet out. Keep your abs tight. We're looking for a straight line from your shoulder down to your ankle. We want to maintain that. Again, we got 90 seconds here. So if you need a break and you have to stop halfway through, that's okay. You can rejoin when you're ready. Because 90 seconds is a lot. I may be taking a break pretty soon here too. We're coming up on 40 seconds. I'm going to go ahead and take a little breather. If you need one, go ahead, grab a breather too. Whew. Okay. I'm going to jump back in and do what I can for a few more seconds here. And we got 30 seconds left, everyone. Maybe you can go to an easier variation if the actual hops are getting more difficult. I'm going to take another short break here. Whew. All right, we got 10 seconds left. Down to 3, 2, 1. Time. Woo. Well, that was a way to start the workout. All right. So go ahead, grab a drink. I'm going to go ahead and pull our next card. We have another core exercise. This is a jack of diamonds we got. So this means we have a minute of another core exercise. I think what we'll do on this one, let's break that minute into 2 30-second intervals. We'll go for 30, take a break, do another 30, but we'll hit our whole minute. All right, so here's what we'll do for our next one. we're going to go into a very nice controlled sit-up here. So I'm going to lay down on the floor, feet flat, my knees bent to about 90 degrees. I can stick my hands up. What I'm going to be doing is trying to bring my sternum to my pelvis. So I'm thinking about this distance in my abdomen. I'm trying to shorten that distance and then push my belly button down to the floor and reach up for the sky. So it's really slow, it's really controlled, but I promise after 30 seconds this is going to burn. So think, push your belly button to the floor, bring your sternum to your pelvis and try to shorten that distance as much as you can and reach for the sky. If you want to make it a little bit harder, you can grab onto something with some weight. And we're going to do the same thing here, where you're trying to push that thing up to the sky, following the same cues. All right, ready? We're going to go 30 seconds, take a break, and then another 30. Ready? 3, 2, 1, and go. So reach for the ceiling, push your belly button to the floor, squeeze your abs, bringing your sternum to your pelvis. We want to shorten that distance as much as we can. This is really what those abs do on the front of your stomach here. So bring your shoulder blades to the floor and then lift them up. Get a little squeeze at the top. This seems like a very simple, easy exercise, but my abs are already burning. Woo. And that is time. Good. So let's go ahead. We'll take about 15-second break here. Whew. Get some deep breaths in, and then we'll set up for another set of these. Boy, I hope we don't draw another core exercise for the next card. My abs feel shot already. Okay, ready? 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Push your belly button to the floor. Shorten the distance between your sternum and your pelvis. Reach for the ceiling. Keep these nice and slow and controlled. Let yourself back down onto the ground nice and easy. Think about one vertebrae at a time. You're trying to set down on the floor as you're coming down. 3, 2, 1, and that's time. Holy cow. Whew, I don't know about everybody at home, but that is burning in my abs. Okay, next card. We have a 9 of clubs. So this is a lower body strength exercise. So it's 90 seconds. So let's go ahead and we'll break this one into 30-second intervals as well. So we'll have 3 30-second intervals. So lower body. Here's what I think we'll do for this one. Let's go with, a body weight squat here. So what we can do is I'm going to use a little bit of extra weight here. And I'm just going to put these up on my shoulders. So if you have dumbbells, you can hold on to those and you can actually kind of put the dumbbell up on your shoulders like this. But we're going to go body weight squats for 30 seconds. So you can get your feet at whatever distance apart you want them. You can turn your toes in or out, find a stance that's comfortable for you. And then we're just going to go nice, slow, controlled down to the bottom, drive up, down to the bottom, drive up. We're going to go for 30 seconds here. Ready? 3, 2, 1, and here we go. Can actually, even if you've got one weight, you can just hold one weight and sort of push that weight out in front of you. So I would go as low as you can comfortably. If it's only a quarter squat, that's okay. But if you can get all the way down, I say go for it, as long as you got no pain and it's comfortable for you. You'll work those quads a little bit more. And practically, during the day, we usually need to squat down and bend our knee quite a bit. So it's good to train that movement. And that is time. Let's go ahead. We'll take 15-second break, and then we're going to jump into our next set. So stay right where you're at here. We're going to get those legs a little bit fired up after this one. It's going to be tough. Okay, ready? 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Going for another 90. I'm going to keep these nice, slow, and controlled. So don't let gravity just drop you down to the floor. Actually control yourself as you lower down. Good. My quads are starting to burn in the front of my legs here. We've got 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. That's time. Good. So take another 15-second break. Legs are probably screaming by now. Okay, I'm going to do my last set without weight because the legs are getting tired. We're ready? 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Last one. So you can push those arms out in front of you to serve as a little bit of a counterweight if you need to. Keep your reps nice and slow and under control. There's no need to rush these. We want to have control over our body. Good. We have 10 seconds left here, guys. Almost there. Down to 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Time. Good. I'm going to take the opportunity here to grab a quick drink of water. Whew. All right. Moving on to the next card. Let's see what we got. What has fate determined for the next one? Oh my gosh, another lower body exercise. We got a 2 of clubs, which means we've got 20 seconds of a lower body strengthening exercise. Here's what we're going to do for this one. So this one, we're going to do a sort of a hamstring curl walkout. I'll show you what it looks like. So you're going to be on your back just like we were for the abs, knees at about 90 degrees. We're going to come up into a bridge. So squeezing our butt, get our butt up off the floor. So I have a straight line from my shoulder to my knee. And then on my heels, I'm going to walk my feet out nice and slow until I can't really maintain that position anymore. And then I'm going to walk them back. So I only want my steps to be about 1 inch at a time. They're going to be really nice and slow. You can put your hands out at the side for balance. But I'm trying to keep my hips extended. So I don't want my butt to come down and touch the floor, butt off the floor, and walking those feet out. So you should really feel this in your hamstrings in the back of your leg, probably a little bit in your glutes. All right. So we're going to go for 20 seconds here. This is a tough exercise, so 20 seconds will be plenty enough. Ready? 3, 2, 1, and go. So bridge, and then on our heels, we're walking out just little 1-inch steps at a time. Should start feeling it in the back of your leg and those hamstrings. Try to keep your hips extended off the floor. And we're just going to keep walking out and then walking in. Good. We are down to 3, 2, 1. Time. Good. That was a quick one. Whew. All right, going on to our next exercise. Grab a quick drink of water if you need it. We got a Queen of Spades. So that is a minute of an upper body strength exercise. I think we have to do push-ups. It's the king of upper body strength exercises, right? So we're going to do a minute of push-ups. Here's what we'll do though. Well, actually, let's go for the full minute. But if you need a break, take a break, and then you can rejoin us. We're just going to roll through this whole minute. But we'll at least get one really good hard set in here if we're going to go for a minute. So I want you to get to the point where it's starting to get pretty hard before you break. All right, so we can do this on a chair. So on an incline, lower your chest down, push away. You can do this on the wall. So lean against the wall, do the same thing. Or you can go right on the floor and do a full push-up here. Or you can even do it from the floor with your knees on the ground. So a bunch of different variations. Find one of those that feels like it's the appropriate kind of weight for you. And we're going to go for a minute here. Ready? 3, 2, 1, and go. So it's best to find the variation that you can do out of these push-ups where you can actually get your chest all the way to the chair or all the way to the floor or wall, whatever you're doing, so that we use a good full range of motion here. Because you can kind of do just shallow push-ups. Those are fine. Those work. But if you can make it a little easier and get the full push-up in, I'd go for that. So we're about 30 seconds through. So try to push it here. Break when you need to. But I'm going to keep trying to push it. Good, slow, controlled movements. Okay, I'm going to take a little break. We got 15 seconds. Just going to rest for a few seconds and rejoin. Okay, good. Down to our last 5 seconds here. So if you can, crank out a few more. 3, 2, 1. Time. Good. Woo. All right. Moving on to our next one. It is a 6 of hearts. Gosh, we have not had a heart yet. I was kind of looking forward to doing some aerobic exercise, so thank God. All right, so we have 60 seconds of an aerobic exercise. I think what we should go with is, let's go with a, something on our feet would be good. Let's go with a side shuffle and then sort of a modified burpee where you reach down for the floor, get a little hop. So shuffle side to side and hop. We'll get a whole bunch of movement in on this one. So we're going to go for a minute. 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Side shuffle, floor, hop. Side shuffle, floor, hop. Keep a little bend in those knees. Don't cross your feet as you're side shuffling here. You're just bringing one foot to the other. You can try to use good, quick feet here. We are at 30 seconds. So if you need to break here before we finish our minute, go ahead, take a break. And if you're feeling really crazy and intense today, you can even jump back into a full burpee if you want to on these side shuffles. We're down to 3, 2, 1, and time. Good. Whew. That was hard for a whole minute. Okay. Take a little break here. Grab a drink of water if you need it. I'm going to go ahead and just keep on ripping cards out of this deck here. So next one, we got a spade, a 4 of spades. So that's 40 seconds of an upper body exercise. I'm going to go with rows. Got to do rows. Actually, let's make it a little different. We'll do a face pull variation. So I'm going to grab a couple cans of food because you don't need much weight for these. In fact, just your body weight's probably fine. You don't even need a weight. What we're going to do is we're going to hinge at the hips so that you get yourself in a position where your hips are at about 40 to 30 degrees, somewhere in there, where your back is nice and flat. And then you're going to be pulling those arms up and making a W with your arms. So your arms will look like this, but you're pulling up almost like you're pulling to your face. So it's going to look just like this, and you're pulling the shoulder blades together and trying to get your hands back behind your head as far as you can. All right. So we're going for 40 seconds with these face pulls. 3, 2, 1. Here we go. So I'll give you this angle here. I'm really trying to pull my shoulder blades back, get my chest out, and bring those hands up as far as I can behind my head. These are pretty tough. But again, I'm making this W with my arms. It's looking just like this. And we're just going to keep this rolling here. They call them face pulls because it's like you're pulling something towards your face. like you got a big rubber band you're grabbing on and pulling. And we got 5 seconds left. 3, 2, 1. Time, good. Let's go ahead and break. Whew. All right. Next exercise is, we got a jack of hearts. So we've got a minute of aerobic exercise. Does anybody that's live on the call today have any special requests for an aerobic exercise? Something we can get our heart rate up with? Give a minute. Jumping jacks? All right, we have a request. We're going with jumping jacks. So we're going to go for a whole minute on these. I'm going to go ahead, start our timer in a second here. So you can do modified, where you're stepping one leg out, bringing those arms up overhead, or a full jumping jack where you actually have the hop, but sometimes that's bothersome on the knees. So do whichever one works for you. We're going to go for a whole minute. So pace yourself. 3, 2, 1. Here we go. So during our last like 30 seconds here, if you feel like you can increase that pace, you can bump it up. Let's start off with what's comfortable for you here. It's been a challenging workout so far. I can promise you guys I did not stack the deck. I'm just pulling cards out the way that they are. I should have shuffled in front of everybody before I started pulling cards. I'm going to get blamed here for this being a hard workout. It's not my fault. All right, last 20 seconds here. I'm going to increase my pace a little bit. Down to the last 10, so try to push it. We'll take a good water break after this one here. 3, 2, 1, time, good. Woo! All right, I'm gonna grab a drink. Oh, all right. Let's see, maybe we'll do a couple more here and then we'll get into our cool down. Next one, we got a 7 of hearts. So we have 70 seconds of another aerobic exercise. This is good. We haven't had a lot of aerobic stuff yet. So any other special requests on aerobic movements here for us? Something we can do to get our heart rate up?
Karaoke.
Karaoke, that's
Karaoke.
good request, Deb.
Right.
So we get a little bit of agility while we're working on our aerobic stuff. So I'm going to walk through this for anybody who's never done this before. We're going to be moving side to side, but your lead foot is going to step out. Your back foot is going to alternate between coming in front and going behind. So the lead foot's always stepping out, but our back foot is alternating. So if I'm going to come this way, then it's here, and then back foot front, back foot back, back foot front, back foot back. And then if I speed it up, it'll look kind of something like this. All right, so let's go ahead. We got 70 seconds. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Here we go. So pace yourself at first. Make sure you have the footwork down. So that back foot in front, back foot in back, back foot in front, back foot in back. It's like a fancy little dance move you can do. You can maybe even add some, if you can add this, some disco points in there too while you're doing this. That's ultimate coordination. Or maybe if you can pat your head and rub your stomach while you're doing karaoke, that's the true challenge. See if you can do that at home. I think switching sides is going to be really tough. Good. All right, we have 10 seconds left here, so let's try to increase the pace a little bit. I'm going to really try to get my feet moving here. And if you still want to add your disco points in, you can. Or maybe Some YMCAs here while we're going through these. Down to 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's time. Good. Woo. All right. Let's see. Let's go one more and then we'll jump into our cool down here. We've had about 25 minutes or so of exercise. So we got a jack of clubs. So that is a lower body strength exercise for a minute. So let's break this off into 2 30-second intervals for the lower body. All right. So for this one, let's see, we've hit our hamstrings, we hit our quads pretty good. Maybe we should go with a single leg exercise. So let's do, okay, here's a good one. We'll do 30 seconds of sort of step downs on one leg, and then we'll do 30 seconds of step downs on the other. So this exercise is really going to target your quads again, but I want you to pretend that you are stepping down a flight of stairs. So you're reaching the heel out in front of you, tapping it on the floor. And then this back leg, this is the quad that we're working. You can see it sort of gets us into almost like a little bit of a squat. And then you're coming back up, all right? So let's do 30 seconds on one leg. And then we'll flip, we'll do 30 seconds on the other. If you need a chair for balance, go ahead, grab a chair that you can hang on to, just to give you a little balance. If you want to make this easier or harder, you can play around with your range of motion. So the further I try to reach my heel in front of me, and the lower that I lower my body down, the harder this is going to be. So you can play around with that as you're going through the set to make it easier or harder. Ready? 3, 2, 1, here we go. So stepping down, I'm just going to stick with one leg on this first set. We're going to flip and hit the other leg on the next one. I'm thinking about keeping my hips nice and level here. I don't want to be leaning as I'm reaching that heel out. Try to keep good, slow, and controlled here. Don't just fire that leg out there. Nice and slow, just like you're going down. Some steps. Good. We got about 3 seconds. 2, 1, time. Good. Let's flip over to the other side and go for 30. So I'll give you a little bit more of a side view here if you need to see what it's looking like. And these should really start to burn in that quad. Good, we got 10 seconds left here. If you need to, try to get a little lower, reach the heel a little further if you got to make them a little bit tougher. And 3, 2, 1, time. Good job. Woo, okay. All right, this might be a good time for us to start cooling down here. That was a good kind of bring the heart rate down exercise, but still get your quads burning. So let's go ahead and we'll go into some stretches here to cool down. Let's see. Let's start off. Just gonna get my timer shut off here. Let's start off with a little quad stretch. So we just got our quads pretty good with that last one. So grab onto your ankle, pull it up to your butt. I have a chair for a little balance here. But if you want to work a little bit more on your balance, you can go without the chair. And we'll hold this for a few seconds here. Good, let's go ahead, we'll flip sides. Switch over to that other leg. Oh, man, those quads are sore. They feel a little bit better after working out this morning, but they're tender. Good, okay. All right, let's go into the hamstrings a little bit here. I don't know, I'd like to do these seated. So you can join me on the chair or you can do these standing. So you can do a standing hamstring stretch by just keeping your knees straight, hinging at your hips, reaching for your toes. Or if you want, you can have a seat in a chair. I kind of feel these a little bit more in the chair. You can do one leg at a time if you want. I'm just going to go for both. So I'm going to reach down. Try to keep my back fairly straight here. And we'll get a good stretch in the hamstrings and hold that. Try to breathe through it. Every time you breathe out, think about relaxing the muscle that we're stretching a little bit more. Good. I'm just going to go to a standing variation so you can see what this looks like. We'll hold this for a few more seconds here. And if you want, at the end, we can add a little bit further back stretch in there too, and you can kind of round that back out, let it hang a little bit. Ooh, good. Okay. We'll go into a little side stretch here. So I'm going to take hand on my hip, hand over my head, and I'm going to sort of push on my hips and lean to the side, try to reach over to the side of the room. And we'll hold this side for a minute, so getting a good stretch through the side of your torso here. We'll go ahead and we'll switch directions, other hand on the hip. Bring the other one over your head into the wall. Good. And then our last one, we'll stretch our chest out a little bit here. So we'll go starting with your thumbs pointing together out in front of you, like so. And then we're going to pull our arms apart, like we have a rubber band, and we're pulling it apart. And then you're going to rotate your thumbs so that they're pointing behind you. And then you're going to really push your chest out, pull your shoulder blades together, and then slowly come back, rotate your thumbs back towards each other. Pull the band apart, rotate the thumbs behind you. Good stretch. Thumbs together. Pull that band apart, rotate your thumbs back. Back together. Go through this a few more times, nice and slow. Get a good stretch in your chest. Good. Let's go for two more good ones here. Last one. Whew, okay. All right. Well, thank you everybody for joining me for today's workout. I had a good time. It's always fun pulling a card and having no idea what exercise you're going to do next, but we got a good variety in today. It was tough, especially starting off with a lot of abs, getting the abs really tired the first two sets. So thanks everybody for joining. Hope you have a great rest of your week. Also this Sunday, so this will be July 18th at 12 p.m. Eastern time, we are airing a workout on ABC 10 here, local television. So you can tune into that tomorrow on Sunday if you're looking for a little bit more physical activity. We've got a great workout coming on. It's a Zoom call where we have a bunch of students from across the Upper Peninsula kind of helping run through the workout together. It's a lot of fun. So tune in for that. Other than that, we hope to see you next week. Our next live workout is Monday night at 5:30 with Carmen for strength workout and HIIT. So we'll see you then.